back. I'm going to show you a little bit about contour drawing. It's a really great way of drawing and really paying attention to the more linear aspects of your object or your scene. And I'll show you a few sketches afterwards that I've done with actual plein air sketching. But the contour, really, the focus is really close examination, going slowly, and as opposed to the big shapes that we did in the last two sorts of sketching, this one really is more of a focus to make you very familiar with the lines and the shapes within your object, which is why using things that are personal or important to you really make a difference, because you get a chance to examine it from a different level. Okay, there's different types of contour. I'm going to show you contour in respect to just having your drawing surface, your drawing tool, your eye, and the object all follow along. So I would slowly be looking at this, and as I looked at the way that this moved around, I would be drawing that. So it's a very focused type of drawing, well, at least this way. I am not going to be doing the shadow. And this is a nice way of also, just kind of getting familiar with all the little tiny details of your subject without getting caught up in perfection. Because the idea is to just, in one continuous line, follow the shapes, follow the line. I'm doing this in a marker because I like the fact that some of these drawing tools, they really focus you on not getting caught up with that perfection, because you're really looking at things as you draw, not as you would hope they would be, if that makes any sense. I got this nice ragged edge here, and I'm coming around. I'm looking at that. I see a raised area here, coming around, a lot of cuts and curves and coming up. I'm kind of like double looking. Okay, and this is going to swing out. And a lot of foreshortening going on here because I'm not actually seeing the full shape there. Coming around. What you can also do with this is time yourself and say, okay, I'm only going to do this for as far as I can do in 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Making sure this is not going off the kind of this shadow that's falling in here. I could follow this up in here, follow it around and come up and around to see a little curving in here. Remember, the idea is not to take your pen off the paper. Sometimes they wind up looking really kind of out of proportion. Slowing down, there's this lovely crack over here. But in doing this, you really do look at the little subtle nuances. I'm not doing this one particularly slow, but I'm not racing through it. Oh, there's this lovely crack that's coming up and another edge. Okay, this guy's widening out, then he's narrowing, he's coming up. Yeah, look at this, look at this. See, if you're doing something like this, you're really paying attention to all those little tiny details. Not necessarily that you have to actually paint them. You can come back in. I'm just going to curve that out a little bit more. Oops, I lifted. Okay, coming around. I'm going to come inside him because I can see a little bit underneath there. And I never finished over here, so I'm going to just kind of travel over my previous line. I can make a new one, got that cut right there. Okay, that contour drawing kind of really does free you up because you do not have to worry about it being exact, because your point was to actually look at it and examine as you were drawing. Blind contour would mean that what you would do is you would have the object to the side over here. You would tilt your paper so that you could not see your hand. And then what you would be doing is you would be looking at your object. And I'll do a quick one right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this on an angle where I can see this. I'll leave it here so you can see it too. Maybe I'll just put it in an unusual angle here, head on. Making sure you can see that a little bit. Okay, and I'm not going to look at my paper now. Blind contour, you really, you can get lost in the, oh, look at all these lovely grooves. If I was doing this with a pencil, I'd probably be paying attention to a lot more of these grooves. Coming around, oh gosh, they're going all over the place. Oh, now my hand's in the way. Here's my thumb, I might as well draw it. Nail. Okay, so I just got this piece right. I was looking right at the tip right here with my thumb. So it really very designerly patterns of just lines, very linear way of drawing. This is really one of my favorite ways to actually study and look at objects, because I'm really focused on just the studying of the flow in the lines, the way the shapes connect, disconnect, broken edges. And these shells are perfect because there's just, I mean, you can draw this so many times and see different things in here. You're not looking at your big shapes. You're not looking at your colors. Well, I'm not when I do it. I'm really just focused on really all these details. You could just come in here and just spend time just, okay, how could I draw that? Marker, you're not going to feel compelled to, well, you can erase it. Pencil, you might want to erase it. So, can the idea of using pencils. Use markers, they're great. Or those China wax pencils. So I just wanted to show you a couple of the sketches I did. Okay, this one here was in a cafe, and it's that same sort of idea, whereas I was just really quickly drawing the outer lines of the people that were standing at this sandwich counter, waiting to place orders. Okay, this one's a little bit more linear in respect. This is, again, this is in a brewery. Just really quickly going around, just drawing the lines, not getting caught up. Well, these are all done in the pens. I'll show you which ones they were. Same idea with the airplane here. Some of my favorite, though, were really when I was in this little cafe. Okay, there's a couple in the cafe. Just drawing a little close up, and you can see it's just going around. A little bit more linear in here. This one here, coming around, just drawing the rough idea of the shapes. Not getting caught up in things being totally accurate, really getting more the idea of the flow. Some of these are done quickly, so I'm not actually looking at the amount of detail I would in an object that's sitting in front of me. I'm looking at things and I'm drawing them in the same manner, though, where my eye is traveling around, and where my eye goes, my pen goes, and I have to hope that people don't move too much. The reality is, when you're doing this, you're doing them quickly anyway. I think that would be about it. Some of these other ones, just quick little ones in here, and some of them are a different type of sketching. So I just wanted to show you that. These are great little sketchbooks. They are handbooks. And they come in all different sizes. And what's really nice is they do have a pocket in the back. So if you are sketching on location, these are my plein air sketchbooks. You know, you can put little keepsake things in here. They've got a bookmark and a nice elastic band. And I just I get those little stickies that when I go places, so that each little book, if I can find one, I've got all the different places that are on the outside. So hopefully that was helpful, fun, quick. Do a whole load of them. You can also try them with a thicker marker. Clearly you're not going to get as much detail. If I used, you know, your fine point, but you know, as markers go, that marker, it's fine point. That's a real fine point, okay? I could be really getting in there and paying attention as I went along to the different more linear aspects of shapes. So hopefully that was helpful. You know, go out, collect some shells. Any object that is meaningful, I think, really makes a huge difference with doing this. Anyway, thank you so much.